In Asia overnight, markets were mixed. Take a look. Best performer overnight was China. Shanghai Composite up 0.75%. Breaking news overnight, Hong Kong's public broadcaster banning staff from using references to Taiwan's president or Taiwan's government. It's an action that seems to come straight from China's playbook. Joining me right now to talk more about that is former Secretary of State, Fox News contributor Mike Pompeo. Secretary, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for being here this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on this morning, Maria. It's good to be back with you.
I have to say, you're probably not surprised at what you're hearing out of Hong Kong. Does this signal trouble to come related to Taiwan?
No, not surprised at all. This is the top of General Secretary Xi Jinping's agenda. He calls it the, quote, reunification, end of quote, of Taiwan. We know Taiwan's never been part of that country. He wants it to be so. We can't let that happen. We have lots of tools to prevent that. The Chinese Communist Party made a series of promises. When they break them, we have to hold them accountable by punishing them. We have tons of tools to do that. We could spend a long time talking about that, but suffice it to say what we can't do is what this administration has done. This administration has refused to take the substantive actions, not words, not communiques, not statements, but the substantive actions to demonstrate our resolve with respect to ensuring that the Chinese Communist Party is held accountable for all things that it has wrought upon the world, including now these further threats to the people on Taiwan.
But Secretary, we're not seeing that at all out of this administration. I mean, you had a tough line against bad behavior in China in your administration as Secretary of State, and yet we're not seeing anything with any teeth here from the Biden administration. And look at Japan. Japan removing Taiwan from the China map in a defense white paper. So you're seeing the Chinese communists bully the world in terms of how to treat Taiwan. Is the U.S. going to show any pushback on any of these moves? For example, I don't know what he's doing in terms of Hong Kong. The CCP invades Hong Kong, starts throwing freedom fighters in jail, and then we get a paper from the Biden administration telling us that business should be concerned about doing business in Hong Kong. That's it?
Well, it's been terribly disappointing. At the beginning of the administration, I gave them a little bit of time to get their house in order, but it doesn't appear they are serious in responding to this true threat to the republic, the threat from the Chinese Communist Party. The actions that they've taken to date started in Anchorage when the Chinese held a meeting with our Secretary of State and suggested that they were morally equivalent to our country, and there wasn't a sufficient response. I don't know if this administration will get it right. It's too bad. Policy on China ought to be bipartisan. This isn't a Republican or a Democrat challenge. This is an American challenge. It's the challenge of our times. You talked about Hong Kong, but we know what's happening in the West, in Xinjiang. We know what's happening right here at home, where they're trying to buy up strategic assets inside the United States. This is a threat that is both inside the gates here in the United States and an external threat. And we need leaders who are prepared to take this on. I hope that the Biden administration gets this right. It matters an awful lot to America, and every member of Congress needs to demand that this administration begin to respond to the challenge that the CCP presents to us.
Well, I think you make a really good point, and you've said this while you were at State. You said they're inside the gates. They've been able to get inside many of our most important institutions, whether it be corporate America or embassies or, government agencies to get information about America. It seems like this agenda out of the Biden administration continues to favor our adversaries. Look at the controversial Russian pipeline, Secretary. The Nord Stream 2 could soon be completed. Two administrations said no to this, but after years of the dispute, the U.S. and Germany apparently expected to announce soon that they've reached a deal. It's a complete reversal from your time as Secretary of State in terms of enriching Russia.
So this deal that they're going to cut with the Germans benefits two people: the rich oligarchs inside of Russia and the wealthy elites in Germany, and no one else. It undermines the Ukrainians, it undermines our friends in Poland, it undermines the United States and NATO. It is now the case that the Russians will have enormous influence over German energy. Imagine in a time of conflict, if things go wrong, imagine what the Russians will do with that. And today, you can see Vladimir Putin. You can see him talk about how the Ukrainian people and the Belarusian people, they're just like the Russians. This is a vice president who served in an administration that allowed the Russians to take 1/5 of Ukraine. They're now selling Ukraine down the river again. And I just have to mention, I can't let it go. Had our administration done that, Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi would have impeached the president. Right, if he would have cozied up to the Ukrainians in this way, I mean, if he would have crushed the Ukrainians and cozied up to the Russians in this way, it would have been all over. The New York Times, the Washington Post, everybody would have been on fire. These folks have now given this pipeline, this energy lifeline to the Russians, which can choke off Eastern Europe and Ukraine. This is a terrible tragedy. They had all the tools to do it. We'd left them in place. We gave them enormous leverage, and they've now thrown it away to cut some deal on climate change that they'll go to this thing. It's called the COP. It's in November. Every indication is that this administration cares about one thing, what happens in Copenhagen in November. And back to China. First person to travel to China on behalf of the United States of a senior official was John Kerry. Climate change has now become the talisman, the thing that the president will sacrifice every bit of our national security for, just a little bit of carbon reduction. This is absolutely tragic. What they're doing with this Nord Stream 2 pipeline will really undermine American national security.
But it's tragic. It's also insane. I don't understand the motivation. I mean, and you know this not just from your time as Secretary of State. You were the director of the CIA. You were in Congress where you started investigating China a decade plus ago. So you understand what the CCP is up to and how it has changed in terms of becoming even more communist and dictatorship. So tell me what the motivation in your view is. Why do we constantly in this administration give more and more to our adversaries? Under Joe Biden's administration, oil prices have pretty much doubled, enriching Vladimir Putin and the mullahs in Iran. China, same thing, giving away the store as they steal from us. Intellectual property is the least of it.
Maria, it's inexplicable to me. I wish I could help you and your audience understand why it is they're doing this. You said it's insane. It is certainly incomprehensible why it is they don't understand this threat from the Chinese Communist Party. Right, it's an authoritarian regime, but remember, there's communists closer to home that they refuse to call out and help the freedom-loving people of Cuba. Right, I think the Democrat Party, I think they have been captured on the left by a group of people who see socialism as just a step away from communism, and they see each of those two things as something that they say, well, that just makes people just a little more equal. That's the best explanation that I can find. It is intolerable, it is inexcusable, it is dangerous to head down that path. We know this too. We saw when the Wuhan virus came around. We saw when the Chinese Communist Party foisted this virus on the world. We saw big American companies with big financial interests in China refuse to do the right thing and begin to disengage in the way that they need to from the Chinese Communist Party. Those same big, elite New York financial institutions are the ones that are underwriting this Democrat Party. I do not know the answer for why they've chosen these policies, but there are too many people who don't understand adequately the risk that the Chinese Communist Party presents and aren't prepared to confront it in the serious way that our administration was.